I love you.
What's going on, everybody? This is Mike Hughes, and you are listening to Mike on the Mic and everything Chicago sports related podcast. We are back, and we are better, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing a Cubs spring training pregame show, episode 3, game number 3. Really excited about this one against the San Diego Padres because obviously the biggest story of the day isn't going to be the game. I don't care if the Chicago Cubs put up 30 runs. The story of the day is Cody Bellinger. We were live last night. We broke the news at 1:15 in the morning. We were talking about Cody Bellinger going to the Cubs. For everybody tuning in, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope everything's going great because we are having a great day in Chicago as Cody Bellinger is back in the Cubs uniform. We saw Nico Horner, Albert Alzolay, Justin Steele, and so many others get vocal about it. Jamison Tyone was on it at 1 in the morning. He was up. He was talking about it. It was a lot of fun last night, man, especially when you saw the contract, especially when you saw the deal at hand. 3 years, $80 million deal with 2 player options in the first 2 years. Like, obviously, we're going to sit here today and imagine that the Cubs are likely going to be in this very same situation next year. You know, it's no secret. And someone even commented right here if we're in the TikTok chat talking about, is this going to happen next year? I think it is. You know what I mean? I think that's expected. I think that's going to be one of the conversations where, we're going to be talking about it all year long. The better Cody does, the more we're going to understand that he's likely going to be a free agent again. And that's completely okay. You know what I mean? That's not a problem whatsoever. I think right now the beauty of the $30 million a year, for the first 2 years and then the $20 million in the third year is really just giving Cody an opportunity to make the most money he can now until he gets a long-term deal. $30 million a year for a top 5 center fielder in baseball, comeback player of the year, former MVP, Gold Glover. Like, I'm not trying to glaze the man, pause, but it's like, you have to take for what he is. You know what I mean? It was the worst year for him in exit velo and slugging and woo. I don't care. You know what I mean? 300 batting average. And the man hit over 26 home runs, Gold Glove defense at first base and at center. So, it's definitely something you got to take into account. You know what I mean? This is something the Cubs desperately needed. You know what I mean? Like, we are not sold offensively on Pete Crow Armstrong quite yet. There's still guys like Brennan Davis who, you don't want to rush that. You want them to take their time because they're excelling, and they're excelling very fast. Alexander Canario, maybe he's big league ready, but is he going to fill the shoes of Cody Bellinger? Is he going to bat over 326 home runs in his true rookie season? Probably not. You know what I mean? I'm not to say he can't, but it's probably not. So I think this is a great deal for the Cubs. You know what I mean? And by the end of this season, let's play devil's advocate. Everybody's talking about, is Cody going to opt out? Here's the real thing. Are we going to need Cody by the end of 2024? Going into 2025, is Pete Crow Armstrong going to be who we need him to be? Is Kevin Alcantara going to be who we need him to be? Is a guy like Owen Casey or Brennan Davis going to be able to take that next step? What is Seiya Suzuki going to be in year 3? You know what I mean? Batting 285 last year with over 20 home runs and solid defense in right field. Seiya took that next leap. You know what I mean? If Seiya ends up being an MVP candidate player or MVP caliber player, you start to look at it very differently. Why do we need Bellinger when we have Seiya and a bunch of young prospects? You know what I mean? You still have Happer in left, who had a down year offensively, but is still a Gold Glover in left. You know what I mean? Back-to-back years. So yeah, I'm really big on it though. I think it's great. I think it's a great signing. I think this is one of those things we've all been waiting for. It's in the inevitable. A couple comments are already flying through. How do I feel about Matt Chapman? There's been rumors about Jordan Montgomery, Matt Chapman, and Blake Snell still being available. Obviously, out of the 4, Bellinger was the first to go. We still are waiting to hear what happens with Blake Snell. I heard the Yankees are somewhat involved. Jordan Montgomery, from what I've heard, there's interest by the Phillies. But as it pertains to Matt Chapman, all I've really heard is the Cubs. You know what I mean? I haven't really heard a lot of other teams. I've heard the Giants kind of squeak in there, but the Giants are always squeaking in there. You know what I mean? I'm not too worried about the Giants for whatever reason. Nobody really wants to play in San Francisco, and I've heard it's for several different reasons, due to the crime rate and due to other things around the ballpark and around the facilities that they have around there. That's what Ken Rosenthal said in the report, not too long ago. I don't know the validity to that, but I don't know why he would create those false narratives. But I think at the end of the day, with Matt Chapman, where I'm at as it pertains to the Chicago Cubs is it's a nice luxury to have, but I don't need Matt Chapman right now. Coming off a down year offensively, after April, his bat was just incoherent, was just not not present. Like, that's just for a lack of a better word. JF1, what's going on? But I think at the end of the day, with Matt Chapman, you have to look at it for what it is and understand after April he wasn't adequate. You know what I mean? His bat was not there offensively. Defensively, you're getting a Gold Glover every single year at third base and in the hot corner. And with Christopher Morel there, there's definite reason for concern that Morel might not be defensively where you want him to be. But I believe if you give him 130 to 150 games under his belt, this is a guy that's going to crank in 30 to 40 home runs. So I'm really not on the Matt Chapman train as of yet, especially because when you look at the Matt Shaws of the world, the BJ Murrays, the Christopher Morels, I just feel like we're in a place right now to where the hot corner is a lot more secure than a lot of people think. I just think it's not a right now answer. And for now, I'm completely content with putting Morel there, rather than just pay Matt Chapman to be here for a couple years, be that bridge gap guy. I have no problem with Morel being that bridge gap guy. And when a guy like BJ Murray, Matt Shaw, or James Triantos does come up and takes over that hot corner, you could always put Morel back at DH. So I'm not against it. If Matt Chapman ends up being a Chicago Cub, I'm totally here for it. I'm a huge Chap fan. Obviously a Gold Glover, a Platinum Gold Glover, and he's great. But I think at the end of the day, you just don't necessarily need that right now. You know what I mean? Like it's a nice want, but it's not a need. Cody Bellinger was a need. You brought in Dom Smith and David Palultra and said those are going to be the left-handed power bats for the Cubs. We desperately needed them. I haven't seen Michael Busch yet. We're expected to see him sometime soon. This is game number three games in a row of spring training. We haven't seen him. We've just seen Matt Mervis. Merv's been pretty inconsistent the first couple days, but yesterday was really good. Let's get into a couple comments really quick. We got Jack in the cut saying Cody Bellinger is a Chicago Cub. Belly Baby says I am. Bellinger belly bombs are back. Frankie's in the comments saying, "Damn, this I can't." Frankie's always trying to get me, bro. But I think at the end of the day, I'm really curious to see what happens with the Chicago Cubs. I think right now, as it sits for DraftKings, we are sitting at plus 180 to win the division. If you're a betting man, I'm not going to tell you how to use your money, but if you're a betting man, I would take that. Plus 100, plus 180, you put $100 down, you come up $280. I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to be the front runners for the division. That's just really where I'm at right now. I think we're in a spot to where it's like, where do you want to see yourself at the end of the season? I believe they have us at 84.5 games for the over-under. I would take the over on that. I think we're sitting anywhere from 86 to 90 games if everybody stays healthy. I absolutely love it, man. And a lot of people are, where's Stroman? Where are all these guys? This is where everything comes down to it at the end of the day is we're trying to put together a roster that's going to have success. We're trying to put together a group of guys who are going to be able to be the best versions of themselves. And I think when you look at a guy like Stroman, first half of last year was absolutely phenomenal. He's a Cy Young candidate. He's the all-star starter, presumably. And then obviously the injuries happen and he doesn't want to participate in the all-star game. But I think at the end of the day, man, you got to understand what the second half of the season was. Stroman was not available whatsoever. And there were questions about him being healthy or him not being healthy. And I think going to New York, first of all, is crazy because we all heard, the beef that he had with Cashman. But, he's a hometown kid over there, and I wish him nothing but the best. But let's get into today's lineup, man. Today's lineup's going to be interesting. Going up against the San Diego Padres, Randy Vasquez will be pitching for the San Diego Padres, and Javier Assad will be taking the bump for the Chicago Cubs. As it pertains to lineups, I'm looking at this lineup from the San Diego Padres. I'm not seeing too much. We have McCoy, Mercado, Azokar, Pauli, Baden, not a lot of guys. There's no Fernando Tatis Jr., no Manny Machado today. Not a lot of big names As for the Cubs, we're actually going to be able to see a few guys that we haven't seen yet. Nico Horner and Dansby Swanson will be making their spring training debuts. Nico will be batting leadoff at second base. Ian Happ is batting second in left field. Dansby Swanson will be batting third, playing shortstop. Christopher Morel is back into the swing of things. Had the day off yesterday. I saw him on Instagram Live, driving around, cruising, listening to music, having a great time in Scottsdale. He'll be playing third base, batting cleanup. Yan Gomes will be making his spring training debut, batting fifth under catcher. Patrick Wisdom will be DHing at batting sixth. Matt Mervis is at first base again after another day. Very successful day for Matt Mervis yesterday at first base, batting seventh. Alexander Canario will be batting eighth in right field, and Picro Armstrong will be batting ninth in center field. What I love about the PCA batting ninth, I think there's a lot of things you can do with that. I think having him batting ninth in spring training is very experimental. I think his speed on the base paths and what he's able to do, either sacrificing bunts or whatever you need him to do, I think that's really successful for him right now, especially when you get the top of the lineup coming right after that. If you can get PCA batting ninth on first base with Nico Horner, Ian Happ, and Dansby Swanson, followed by Christopher Morel coming right after him with the top of the order, I think you're in rooms to success to get runs driven in. You know what I mean? Like, Pete is a stealing base machine. He is electrifying. He is Lightning McQueen on the base path. So to have those guys follow him up, all contact hitters aside from Christopher Morel, I'm really excited to see what that could potentially look like come I would say the fourth inning. That's when you're going to start to see those opportunities kind of arise. So I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move from the acting managers of the Chicago Cubs. I don't know if Craig Counsell will be in attendance today. I know, God bless him and his family. Yesterday, he was laying his mother to rest, who passed away a couple weeks ago in Wisconsin. So I know that's where he was yesterday. He was there for the opening day in Mesa, Arizona, but game 2, he was not present. So our thoughts and prayers are out with him. But with that being said, I think it's a solid day. I think it's a solid day for the Cubs. I think if you're a betting man, you got to say the Cubs are going to take the win today. You don't get to see any of the big names from the Padres. Now, obviously, it's spring training, so anything can happen. But, I think this is a good day. I think this is a good day for the Cubs. I think this is going to be a good move for them moving forward. Obviously, bringing in Cody Bellinger, it's probably going to take a couple weeks until we see him. Maybe not a couple, maybe a week until he gets acclimated into the big league level, gets back into the swing of things. I'm just so upset he missed media day. He missed photo day. I didn't get to see that belly smile. But it's great, man. It's great that we're back in here. If you guys are new here, make sure you smack that follow button for Cubs content and baseball content all season long. Every single day, we're going to be in there. We're also going to be talking about Bears, going everything into Justin Fields, obviously Caleb Williams, and everything else we got going on with the draft and the combine coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun, though, man. I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to be really dope. JF1, what's going on? But I think I just am in such a positive mind state right now. I'm in great spirits. We're in a conversation right now to where the biggest piece of the offseason is now here. So when you look at the Cubs offseason, let's recap it. You bring in Shota Imanaga, and that was really it. And then you bring back Cody Bellinger, so it's a dub. You know what I mean? It's a huge dub. Absolutely love it. I love that this is going on. I love that this is occurring. I love that we got everybody we wanted. You know what I mean? Like, you bring in Shota Imanaga, great lefty from Japan. In his rookie year, I'm excited to see what he can bring. I saw him and Seiya Suzuki going at it the other day in live BP. But it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. We got Cody Bellinger back into the fold as well. So everything's really transpiring the way we wanted it to go. That was really our only big ask in our offseason, was bring back Cody Bellinger. I think Jed understood that Chicago fans and players wanted Cody back in the building. I just can't believe we got him for what we got him for. You know what I mean? I'm surprised. And by that, I mean, like, the deal makes sense. We've seen this before with Carlos Correa, but it's like, I'm just surprised the Giants or the Blue Jays didn't overpay for a guy like Cody. And I guess we'll see why that is. Maybe Cody has a down year this year, and I'm not manifesting that. I'm just saying maybe there's more to it than we believe. Maybe last year was crazy. But I think at the end of the day, we have to look at it for what it is and understand that Cody Bellinger proved that he deserved to be a Chicago Cub, and everybody else believes it as well. So I'm expecting big things. I'm expecting him to pick up right back where he left off. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. We have an interview later tonight with my guy Mike Powers. We're going to be interviewing Brennan Davis, one of the top prospects for the Chicago Cubs. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. We're going to be talking to him about, obviously, getting back to who he is, getting back from the injuries of 2021 and 2022, having a big day yesterday, 3 RBIs, 2 big knocks for a double and a home run. He isn't in the starting lineup today, but we're probably going to see him at some point unless they gave him the day off. But we're going to be talking to him around 6 p.m. Central Time, so definitely tune in for that. We're going to be talking to him about everything Cody Bellinger, everything spring training. It's going to be a lot of fun. But until then, I'll check you guys out later. Be safe, be lovely. I'll check you out later. Peace.
I love you.